Now, anyway, so yeah, like for example, like, just there's certain things about me that were different than other women. Like, I had a mustache as a kid, and I got made fun of a lot for that, for having a mustache. I got teased for a very long time for that. I was very muscular as a kid. Like, I used to work out a lot. I was doing like 100 push-ups by the age of 12 every day. Like, that's just the path that I went on, was the athleticism and stuff like that. So I just thought, women can do the same thing guys can do. That's always been the mentality that I've had. Just like men can do the same things that women can do. So I didn't really think too much of it when I had like a muscular physique, because I just assumed, well, I work out every day. I've been in sports ever since I could walk. Ever since I started walking, I started playing sports almost immediately. So I didn't really, think too much of it. But now that I'm looking back at it and putting the pieces together, it makes sense. But it just kind of just goes to show how far C went to keep certain secrets from me, to have an advantage in the situation. You know what I mean? And I know that sometimes, like, when a person makes a mistake, they can either choose to address it, or they can choose to just kind of sweep it under the rug and leave it a part of the past. So if somebody decides to do that, that's just their choice. Hold on. Safety. I see one white guy going out around the corner conspicuously, and then one guy going one way and turning back around. So when I be seeing white people acting all cryptic and mysterious, I feel like I need to post up and kind of just, be on guard. Not necessarily to be defensive, but on guard. Because I feel like like I said, when I was telling y'all before, when I be making these types of videos, how, random white people kind of just come out of nowhere. Yeah, but like I was saying before, I'm not trying to slander C, or like, I'm not trying to be on some overkill type stuff. It's just, I'm holding her accountable for ruining my life, for being as controlling towards me as she was, because she was very controlling, and her behavior really caused a lot of damage in my life, because when she stopped talking to me, like, my life took a downward spiral, because it wasn't just that, with ghosting, like, I could handle that, but it was just the way that she ghosted me was just like, it was foul, it was cruel, it was unacceptable. She had been planting these like C4 bombs in my life, and I felt like the moment that she took off and moved on is like all of those grenades that had gone off, that she had set, had gone off right when she left, and my life was just left in shambles, and I had been trying to pick up the pieces back in my life ever since she and I stopped talking. And I feel like it's been a bit unfair how, she's had all this money and all this success and this clout and, a place to stay, clothes that she could change into, just shower whenever she wants, food whenever she wants, however she wants. And I'm just like still like being held hostage. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that it's kind of messed up how, I've shown her support all this time, all these years. And The only thing that she kind of did for me was lead me on, waste my time, steal all my money, put me in danger, attack me, you know, tell my business. The whatever I told her in confidence, she's told my business, and whatever facts about me that she could have told to help me, she told lies, like telling people that I'm a woman and that I want to be a man. And like she really like destroyed my life, and I'm holding her accountable for destroying my life because I still have not recovered from that. And I've tried to do everything that I could to recover from the damage that she caused, and I have not been able to because of her. Her lies, her deception, it was unnecessary the way she treated me. And I just felt like, she really didn't want me in her life. She should have just made that clear and let me go. Let me walk away. Let me leave her alone, or at least she could have, gotten up and left and walked away. I never blocked her path. I never forced her to stay. I never guilt tripped her to stay. So for her to waste my time and she wasted her time, and I feel like she wasted other people's time. And what I'm saying? She's essentially, she ruined my life, my health. I don't look the same. I don't breathe the same. I don't move the same because her reckless behavior towards me has caused severe injuries on my end. Severe injuries to where I've had to go to the hospital for. I've had to spend money that I barely even had access to pay for medical care because my injuries were so severe. And on top of that, I still haven't recovered properly. Like, she mutilated me. She's responsible for me being mutilated. She's responsible for me being maimed. And when I say maimed, I mean like the injuries that I suffered were so severe that they might be permanent. That they're permanent injuries. I can't dance no more. I can't even play sports no more because of what she did to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she really ruined my life and messed my life up. And I'm holding her accountable because she's still coming back into my life as if nothing happened and causing the same damage. And it has been very difficult not to seek revenge against her because of the damage that she's caused and how cruel that she's been towards me. She just won't leave me alone. I don't know. I don't know what to do at this point. I've done everything. I don't know what I can do or what I should do aside from just kind of letting it go and letting a higher power handle it, but just her lies. Like I said, she would go around telling people that I was a lesbian woman and that I wanted to be a man. She had people believing that. She had people believing that I hated men and that I only like women because I was traumatized as a child, as if my feelings towards women was illegitimate or something. Like, she just was very disrespectful towards my identity. She was very disrespectful towards my sexual preference. She was very oppositional towards everything that I stood for. Just very abusive, very disrespectful. I felt like in a lot of areas, she had a lot of toxic masculine energy because she would constantly emasculate me. And, when, like what I was saying in the other video, how like when I was wearing clothes, I was wearing women's clothes and they didn't really fit me. I got teased in school because of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I had clothes that was too small, and because the clothes were too small, it was cutting off my circulation. And some of these clothes I had to work out in, and it just caused like unnecessary like body odor, and it made my clothes wear out faster. It's very difficult to explain because I feel like this experience that I've had was very peculiar to any like childhood experience that I've ever heard of. I don't know what transgender people have had to go through in life in general, aside from what I've gone through. But most of the people that I've come across thought I was a woman too. Like, they didn't know I was transgender either. A lot of people didn't know. So I wasn't treated as a transgender person until that information about me was leaked by her. So it was like when it was convenient for her, she needed people to believe that I was born a girl. And then when I started to accept myself for who I was, regardless of whatever my family identified me as, then she started telling people my business, my medical history, showing like exposing that information about me. You know what I'm saying? Ciara's not the only person that did this, but she was one of the ones that had the power to shut it all down and to stop it, and she didn't. And she participated as well, but she's not the only one who's guilty. I'm just on her case right now because I'm making this video about her. But whenever it was convenient for her, for people to see me as a woman and to treat me as a woman, even though it made me miserable, it made me uncomfortable, she didn't give a damn. She sacrificed my happiness and my free will and my identity, my freedom of expression. She sacrificed that, to keep a secret. So she was just like, forget, your identity, forget who you want to be, what you want. It's about me keeping this secret and living the life that I want. And that was very selfish of her. Very selfish. So like I said, in the beginning, at first, she had people under the impression that I was a natural woman. I was born a girl. And so, when I revealed to her that I like women only and that I was a lesbian, she went around telling people that I'm a man-hating lesbian that likes women because I was traumatized as a child. That's what she was going around telling people. Because when people coming to me and asking me, hey, and most of these were religious people, by the way, they were coming to me and asking me, hey, why do you like women? Why do you like, and I'm like, I just like women. They're like, did something happen to you or something? Is that why you like women? Because, homosexuality ain't that. Like, I've had a lot of religious people coming to me and asking me inappropriate questions. Asking me extremely inappropriate questions because Ciara was over there talking too much, telling my business, and it wasn't her business to tell. So people coming to me and they're interrogating me, and I don't know why. And they're jumping to conclusions about me, and I'm asking them, why they would assume that, and they're not answering. They're not giving me their source. And I'm putting two and two together, and I'm realizing that it's coming from Ciara. Because Ciara was one of the very few people who knew that I was born a woman. There was a lot of people in my family that didn't even know that I was transgender. They didn't know either. So there was only a few people who knew, and Ciara was one of the very few that knew what I was born as. She was one of the very few ones. She probably, I almost want to say, it's safe to say that she may have been the only person that knew that I was born a man. And like I said, when I started to accept my identity for what it was, what I thought. I thought that I was a lesbian. I thought I was born a natural woman, and I just so happened to like women. So therefore, I took on the mistaken identity of a lesbian because that's what I thought I was. I thought I was born like that. I didn't know better. I never had any intention to catfish anyone. I never had any intention to lead anyone on or to play with their time or to play with their feelings. That was never my intent at all. It took me a while to even discover the fact that I liked women because I was brainwashed by Ciara to believe that I was a woman. And because my family is very conservative and religious, they taught me that homosexual relationships was unnatural and that I'm supposed to like men. So that's what I went along with. I didn't know better. I just didn't know. Like I said, when they started teaching sex education in school, I started to become a little bit more knowledgeable, but I still didn't know what my sexual preferences were until later, let alone my own sexual identity, for goodness sake. So, I've experienced a lot of homophobia in life, and I guess people started to become accepting towards that. And they started not to breathe down my neck so much. And, I started being honest to the best of my ability with people. And when I did that, I noticed how the heat did die down some, and people started to respect me. They started to show support. They started pointing me in the direction of women that were interested. Like, the community really did started to show some support and respect. And it was during that time, I guess, she witnessed that, found out about it. I don't know. And then she started telling people that I was transgender. And then I started to receive that hate all over again, but it was like amplified times like 3. Yeah, so I hold her accountable for putting my information out there like that, because she was the one that, like I said, went around telling people that I was transgender. And when she I didn't even know, like, so when people were making comments, like slick comments about me being transgender, I was like, huh? Like, I didn't quite get it. Like, I didn't understand. Like people started calling me he, for example. Like, and I didn't know why. Like, people started calling me under masculine pronouns, and I didn't know why. I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I respected it. I was like, oh, this is new. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know why people were doing it. Because I wasn't informed at that time that I was other people had found out that I was transgender before I did, because she was running her mouth telling people that I was transgender, and she didn't tell the person who needed to know. Don't you think that if I'm under an identity that I don't know of, that I'm not aware of, shouldn't I be the first person to know? No, I was the last person to know. Everybody else is like making little slick comments and jokes, and I'm like, what? Like, it missed me, because I'm like, I thought we got past this. Like, in my head, I'm thinking, wait, hold on. I was honest with y'all about being a lesbian. I thought we had gotten past the phobia. Like, but what's going on now? And I'm finding out that I'm transgender, and I'm starting to understand now the new level of hate that I'm facing. You understand? I mean, this is all new to me. Like, I never knew that this was true. When I was first notified of this information, I didn't believe it at first. I didn't believe it, because I'm like, well, because it's like, I feel like in a lot of ways, in some ways, I kind of look like a woman, like the way my body is shaped, or at least after all that happened. I thought I was a woman. I looked like a woman. I felt like in some ways I was in touch with my feminine side. So I didn't believe it. It took me a while to grasp and fully understand that I was, like, just like I said, certain things kind of started to unravel, and it makes sense. And sometimes I still question it to this day, because it's like, why? Like, I won't ask why, but what I'll say is it just confused me at the time. Like, why, like, keep that a secret for so long? Like, but I'm sure there's more to it. But this just goes to show, though, the lies and the secrets and the manipulation that Ciara was willing to subject me to keep her secrets, and to kind of like establish dominance, and, kind of just let those insecurities like run wild, like I said, with the whole wasting my time, lead me on, getting married to somebody else while still entangled with me. Like, she and I are still living together, and she didn't even bother to mention that she had gotten married to somebody else, let alone my ex-boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, she was very shady. She was very, very, very shady. And I'm trying to express the way that she treated me without sounding bitter or coming off as, petty, but, like, keeping that secret from someone, like, that's a big deal, like, excuse me, keeping the fact that I'm transgender a secret from me, when I have been questioning my identity for all my life. Like, that was just wrong. That was plain wrong. And to do that to me as a child, like, that was wrong. Like, she didn't ask me, like, you know what I'm saying? She never asked me if a sex change was something that I wanted. Like, she took that away from me, you know? Like, just imagine, like, for a child to be born a certain way and they don't want to change the way that they look, and their parents, or not even, it may not even be a parent, it could be a legal guardian, it could be another family member forcing them to change their identity without their consent. I know that children don't legally have consent, aside from, parental authorization, but the parent is still supposed to go to that child and ask them if that's something that they want. No, none of my family members ever, like, took the time to ask me what I wanted. Like, and this was a huge, like, dynamic in my family, is them kind of like forcing me to be a certain way, live a certain way, and they never asked me, like, they never even considered my feelings. Like, you know what I'm saying? They never took the time to consider what I wanted or needed at that time. And, considering the fact that I was forced to transition into a woman, without my knowledge, without my consent, it caused a lot of health problems later on in life that I could have been mentally and emotionally prepared for if this was something that I was informed about, at the very least, even if there was nothing I could have done about it. You understand? So it's like, I'm holding her accountable for, like I said, allowing this to happen to me without my consent, without my knowledge or consent. I'm also holding her accountable for keeping it a secret from me all this time and having me under the impression, or having me live a lie when there was changes going on in my body that I didn't know anything about. And I was always being teased for being different, and I didn't know why. And it was wrong of her to keep that secret. It was wrong of her to have me live a lie and keep that information from me. I feel like with Ciara, she was more than willing to take away my free will to get what she wanted. She did this many times, and this includes drugging me and forcing me to have threesomes with men. She would take away my free will and sacrifice my free will and my livelihood. She sacrificed my body, you know what I'm saying, so that she could have whatever she wanted. And she would do this often. Sacrifice me. Sacrifice my free will so that she could have what she wanted in the situation. She always had to put her needs first, put her wants first, even if it was to her detriment. And that included sacrificing my free will, not allowing me the option to say no. She did this often. She does this to this very day, takes away my free will. She never asked me, hey, do you want to do this? Do you want that? She would just give me whatever the fuck she felt like giving me. Whatever the fuck she felt like it was okay for me to have, that was what I had. Never once did she ever ask me, is this what you want? Even, like, I mean, I could really go in, but I'm gonna save that for a later date. But I'm just here to talk about the abuse that she put me through, how she bullied me and made me feel like less of a human being, how she was very racist. You know what I'm saying? How she expressed racism and hate towards people. It's just, she was very disrespectful towards me after I was, assaulted. She was very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. She said some very horrible, terrible things to me that I can't remember what she said, and I don't want to remember. But I just remember that she has said some very disrespectful things to me while she was hazing me and getting her flunkies to gang stalk me. Her and her flunkies were very disrespectful towards me. Publicly disrespectful. And it's been very difficult to kind of turn the other cheek and be humble about it. It's been very difficult for me. Very difficult. Very, very, very difficult. Because she was very disrespectful about me being assaulted. And I know some of y'all, if you had been sexually assaulted and it was by a group of people and somebody was to make fun of you for it, somebody that you once dated, that you once like really cared for and loved, I'm pretty sure some of y'all would be upset too. So it doesn't take much from a person. Empathy, compassion, it doesn't really take much for someone to understand that, what I'm saying, if you trust somebody and they set you up to get assaulted and robbed, you would be pissed off too, especially if they were vain and disrespectful enough to make fun of you publicly for it. Oh, hell no. Some of y'all would have started blazing. Some of y'all would start blazing. So this is kind of why I'm going in, because she follows me every single where I go, and she starts getting people to just disrespect me and dog me out. Like for example, like I was saying before, how I was wearing women's clothes. I didn't wear women's clothes by choice. I knew from a very young age that I couldn't fit women's clothes. I knew that. Because, I know my body. If I'm putting on clothes, I know what's too tight, what's not. Some family members may gaslight me because they may want me to wear something, but I know what the fuck I'm talking about. If I say a shirt's too damn tight, it's too damn tight. If I say shoes are too tight, they're too tight. If I'm saying these underwear are chafing me and they're causing rashes, I know what the fuck a rash looks like. You understand? So I knew that from a very young age that boys' clothes was the only thing that was going to fit me. I was going to have to wear women's clothes that were a little baggy. Now, considering how my family members, a lot of them have been conservative to the extent at which they were very close-minded to what was obvious, I had to play that little role, wear women's clothing. Even with my family members and some of Ciara's flunkies, disrespected me to the point where they had me wearing clothes that was clearly not my style. I had to play that little role and go along with it because I wasn't paying rent, even though me being trafficked was like most of the money that was coming in. I wasn't paying rent. I wasn't a legal adult. So, I had to go by the rules that were set for me, But I knew at a very young age that women's clothes were too small for me and that I had to wear clothes from older kids, older females, to be able to fit some of these clothes. And even then, that was good. It was only a matter of time before I outgrew those clothes, and I was right. So those boy clothes that my family members tried to shun me into not wearing were the clothes that I needed to wear, because they were the only clothes that actually fit and they were comfortable. They didn't cause me to have bad body odor and infections and all this fuckery that was going on with my body, trying to fit that image that my family so badly wanted me to succumb to. It was bullshit politics in my family. That was bullshit, and I had to go through that, and I had to suck it up for a long time. And I'm at a point in my life to where I'm tired of sucking it up. I'm fed up with sucking it up. I'm fed up with someone giving me their hand-me-downs and not saying anything about it. And I'm not talking about oh, you just spoiled. No. My family members were disrespectful. They were disrespectful intentionally. They disrespected me and they tried to emasculate me. That's the reality. They made fun of me for being a feminine male when they didn't consider the fact that I was being lied to. Or they did know. They were just being transphobic. But still, it was very disrespectful. They would disrespect me every single day by forcing me to wear women's clothes, and they were too tight. They were too small. It was times I had to go out the house with a freaking wife beater and boxers because that was all I had, because the clothes were too small. I couldn't even put them on. It wasn't even a thing. It wasn't even a fashion sense anymore. It's getting to the point where I'm clearly outgrowing the image that they're trying to set for me. And they keep trying to force me to wear these damn clothes, and it's too damn tight now. I can't even pull my pants all the way up now. I can't fit these fucking clothes. Give me some men's clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like I said, being disrespectful, trying to emasculate me because it makes them forget what they did to me. You understand? Like, these are dynamics though that children should not be, growing up in. If foster care is the better option, then foster care is the better option. That's just what it is. Sometimes with family members, you got to let them go. That was what I wanted to do. That's what I tried to do. My whole life was let my family members go because they were disrespectful. They were abusive. They were emotionally negligent. They did not take any responsibility for their behavior as adults. They always blamed it on me because I was the family scapegoat. That was the dynamic. And I got fed up of always being everybody's punching bag. And I was willing to start punching back, even if some of them were my elders, because they were dedicated to disrespect. I'm telling you, the things that my family members did to me, the things that some of them said to me under Ciara's influence was very dehumanizing, to the point where, it will force a person to fight back. A person can only take so much pain, so much insults, so much of someone inflicting negative energy to where they start fighting back. And I had no other choice. They were dedicated to emasculating me and trying to strip away my identity and taking credit for my work. That was the cycle that I was in, being the scapegoat. They were quick to blame me for something I didn't do because it made them feel better. But they never wanted to give me credit for the hard work that I put in and for being the breadwinner of the family. They never gave me credit for that. All of my family members, rich and successful. And where am I at? Out on the streets, complaining about how I'm being treated on a daily basis. And they know what they're doing to me. They know how they're treating me. Ciara knows how she's treating me is wrong. And how getting other people involved and ganging up on me is wrong. And she still does it. Out of all the support that I've given her all these years, and she still allowed her insecurities to treat me like garbage because of a power struggle. Not once putting my needs, my feelings over the power struggle. She always put the power struggle over my needs and over my feelings. Always. If she had to choose between money and my feelings, money was always the first choice. If she had to choose between the power struggle and my needs, she always chose the power struggle. It was always about her, always about what she wanted, always about her image. And she was more than willing to sacrifice any and everyone to get what she wanted out of a situation. And that's what I'm holding her accountable for. She sacrificed my life, my manhood. Do you understand? She sacrificed my life and my manhood to maintain a secret that she ended up exploiting later on in life anyway. I never even said nothing about her molesting me. Never. Not once. But she sure as hell made fun of me for being molested. Do you understand what I'm saying? The fuckery, the reverse psychology behind that. And this is the reality that I've had to live in. This is how people go crazy. This is why people talk to themselves. And then abusers, perpetrators like to troll people who mind their own business. Why are you talking to yourself? Stop talking to yourself. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? When instead these perpetrators need to mind their own fucking business. Stay in their own fucking lane and mind their own fucking business. That's the problem. You ain't minding your own business. You ain't focusing on your own growth and development. You all up in me and my face. All up in my fucking face. You need to get the fuck out my face and mind your own business. That's what you need to do. You too busy all up in my business that you ain't even focused on where you need to grow at, what you need to work on. And you all up in my business, all in my face, breathing down my neck when I don't want you there. You understand what I'm saying? And I have to go through this all day, every day. Ciara following me around. Everywhere I go. Like a moth to a flame. Like flies to shit. That's how Ciara circles around me, hovers over my life, and controls my life. And I'm tired of her treating me like garbage, treating me like less of a man, isolating me from women that are interested in me, isolating me from healthy friends, healthy support because of envy, because of her insecurities. I'm tired of her insecurities controlling my life. I want my freedom. I want my motherfucking freedom. I'm tired of her always calling the shots in my life. It's not her fucking life. It's my life. It's my motherfucking life, and it's my motherfucking feelings. And I don't give a damn what people think about me. They can think or say whatever the fuck they want. I don't give a fuck about them. This is about my life and what I want and what I need. All right? I need for Ciara to get the fuck out my life. I need her to be removed from my life. I need people like her to get the fuck out of my life so that I can help myself, so that I can show support for people who've been showing support for me that I've never been able to show my gratitude or show support back. Why? Because people like Ciara are so goddamn controlling that I can't even leave the house without being hounded by police and security and flunkies and gang stalkers every single fucking moment of my life. It's that bad. You hear them people laughing? They think that's funny. But I have to go through this every day. They think that's funny. But it's not funny. It's not funny at all. You know, these people, they know I don't want them around me. They know. That's why every time I express myself in this way, they laugh as a means to undermine me, as a means to assert dominance over me and to win at this power struggle when I'm not even going in. It's like playing tug of war with somebody that won't pick up the rope. I'm not picking up the rope because I don't want to play the power struggle game. I don't want no parts of it. And I made that clear. And they still keep disrespecting me. Laughing in my face, taking pictures of me while I'm sleeping, following me around, touching me in my sleep, banging on the door when I'm in my house, breaking in my house, stirring up drama where I'm working, causing a scene at my job. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of it. The constant gang stalking, the constant bullying and the harassment, the sexual harassment. I'm tired of it. And I want Ciara and all the motherfuckers who are associated with her to leave me the fuck alone and get the fuck out my life. I also want justice for people who've dealt with her, whose lives have been ruined because of her. I want them to get justice too. Why? Because I see how other people's lives have been really like ruined because of her. I've seen it with my own eyes, and I've had empathy and compassion for them because I knew exactly what they were going through, because she screwed me over too. And some of those people, you know, I wanted to go up to them and tell them, hey, I don't mean to start no drama or no chaos or nothing. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I just want to say I understand exactly what you're going through because she screwed me over too. She did me dirty just like how she did you, and I understand. I've seen some people pain and suffering, and they regret their encounters with her just like I do. They regret it, and I know they do. That some of them have said it, some of them not so much. But one thing we have in common is that our lives are ruined because of her. Because of her selfishness, her insecurities, her greed. She's ruined so many people's lives behind her hypocrisy. And I'm not going to talk about her personal life. I'm only talking about her character because I'm not trying to put her business out there. Like I said, I'm not trying to slander her, even though I really don't like that bitch. I'm not trying to slander her. The whole purpose of me making this video is to expose her character and what she's capable of, how she's treated me. And if she's treated me like this and I was a loyal family member, I can only imagine how she would treat a so-called friend or a classmate, right? A family member that she's not as close to. Like, you know, she treated me like garbage, even though she claims up and down she has a soft spot for me, and people have confirmed that. But imagine if she had a soft spot for me and she treated me like this, imagine how she would treat someone that she doesn't have a soft spot for. That's my point. I know no one's perfect. Like, I'm not trying to come down on her like I've never done anything wrong. Like, I know that those without sin, must cast the first stone, and I'm not in a position to be throwing stones at anyone. All I'm saying is her behavior is unacceptable, and I'm holding her accountable for being disrespectful. I'm holding her accountable for leading me on when all she had to do was fucking walk away. You got your money. Why didn't you just fucking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like all that extra shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even remember that she molested me. So how I was never even in a position to tell nobody. So it's like for her to waste my life like that was bogus. That was bogus as hell. That was ratchet. You know what I'm saying? Like, she literally like ruined my life and wasted my time. And she's still playing the same mind games. The only difference is that I ignore her. But it's starting to piss me off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying not to harm her. I'm trying not to get like violent with her, but her always constantly provoking me like that, man, especially when I've tried to get justice for myself, and certain people in power want to play dirty, and they want to ignore this and neglect the situation. I can only see it escalating from here, because if she doesn't leave me alone, I don't know how much longer I can be her punching bag, yo. She's always attacking my manhood, bro. Like, just as a man, for anybody, like, forget how you feel about me being transgender. As a man, if someone's always like digging away at your manhood and chipping away at your masculinity and trying to make you look like a bitch or like a pussy, or you know what I'm saying, like you're less than deserving of respect as a man, at some point in time you're gonna want to throw some hands. And women know exactly where to hit and hurt a person, whether it's with their words, whether they get other people involved. Like, a lot of women, when they feel like coming after you by themselves is not enough, a lot of times she'll get her niggas involved. You know what I'm saying? They'll try to like punk you and gang up on you and shit. And it's like, she's been doing this shit for a long time, and I'm getting real tired of her, disrespecting me. Like, I mean, I know that, like, accepting the fact that I was born a man is something I had to accept, and it's something that it's uncomfortable for me, but I've had to accept, because I've noticed that I've been kind of strong for a woman. It's kind of weird, but I've had to accept. And my morals go that, like, a man should never put hands on a woman, and I agree. But sometimes, man, it's just certain things that women do and say that they know that they're really pushing a man to a point where they're about to get their ass whooped, plain and simple. Like, certain women, they know exactly what to do and say to get you to put your hands on her. Yes, I said it. Women know what to do and say to get a man to put hands on her. Ciara is one of those women. She will do everything she can to push your buttons and put you in a situation to where you're forced to put hands on her, to show her, hey, lady, you're not going to be disrespecting me like that. You're not going to be treating me like that. Like, it's self-defense. Like, she has this real toxic masculinity to where she likes to, like I said, emasculate men to the point to where they are forced to put hands on her. And then she'll play the victim and go to a group of niggas that, buy into that victimhood, and they'll really mess somebody up. Like say, for instance, if she provokes me to the point where I put hands on her because it's self-defense, right? Because she's that type of chick. She's violent. She's hit me before. It's been many times where she's hit me and I let it slide because she was a woman, and I knew I knew what I was capable of. Like, I could fight back, but I didn't. And I let her get away with it. And she would put her hands on me and she would hit me. And she had been hitting me for a long time. And it was a point in time where she was doing this while I was carrying a child. and I couldn't hit her back because I had to protect the child. But it's getting to that point where if she keeps, I'm like I said, I'm telling you, y'all, community, I have literally done everything in a non-violent way to stand up for myself, to protect myself. I have swallowed my pride, and I have tried everything I could to be humble and not put my hands on her, not be aggressive, not try to be tough. I never try to be tough for her, only in a means of self-defense. But I've really been trying, y'all. And I put this on my life and on everything I love. I hit her once out of self-defense. Out of self-defense. Any other time, I never put my hands on her. Because she kept, like I said, I was carrying a child. I need y'all to understand this. I was carrying a child. She was hitting me. You understand? She was putting that child's life in danger as well. And I had to hit her. You understand me? Feel however you want to feel. But that's the truth. And she keeps coming at me, dog. And I've been trying to be patient with her, and people see her mistreating me, and they see how she's treating me, and ain't nobody doing nothing, ain't nobody saying nothing. But if I put hands on her, then everybody want to say something. And it's getting to that point, dog, where she's been taking advantage of my kindness way too long. And people have refused to hold her accountable. I feel like the community has refused to hold women accountable for being abusive. Like the same thing with Krishan and Blueface. How everybody's getting on Blueface ass, but ain't nobody holding Krishan Rock accountable for how abusive she really is. It's the same situation. People refuse to hold Ciara accountable for how abusive she has been all this time when her abuse has always been public. People saw how she behaved. They saw what I had to go through. They witnessed my life being torn apart because of her behavior, and they refuse to hold her accountable, but they're quick to scapegoat me the moment I have reactive abuse. Do you understand? So at this point, I do not care about how people perceive me. I don't care about their opinion. What I care about is my safety. Because what if she attacks me again and I have another child around me? Do you understand? She is not above harming children. Don't nobody want to speak on that. How she's harmed children in the past. Don't nobody want to say nothing about that. But if I hit her to protect my life or to protect the life of a child that's right next to me, then everybody's like, oh, would you put your hands on her, you bitch ass nigga? Would you put your hands on a nigga? Well, first of all, if a man treated me like that, I would have been put my hands on him. Number one, and I have. Number two, I prefer not to hit women because it's respect. But if a woman wants to be disrespectful and put my life in jeopardy, I'm going to defend myself. I'm not going to be a sucker for love, first of all. Because most of these dudes out here, they be talking shit about how a man has to protect himself. Even some people, police racially profile black men for defending themselves against crazy white women. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got something to say. Everybody got something slick to say. But they refuse to hold women, especially white women, accountable for being crazy and abusive. So I'm here to say, from a perspective of someone who I thought I was a woman at one point in time, and I see how women act, and I was like, thinking that I'm a woman, and these are quotes that I've said in the past before I found out that I was transgender. I would say like, okay, well, as a woman, I understand how women can be and how we can provoke men to that point. Like I said, I was tapped into my feminine side, so I understood, and I still do. And because society refuses to hold women accountable, it's a lot of vulnerable men that are innocent in a situation that gets scapegoated because they refuse to hold women accountable, because sometimes society is simping. Sometimes some of these people that run the mainstream media are simping. Some of them for real, like most of the people that came after me for having to defend myself against Ciara went right behind my back when the relationship was over, or while the relationship was going on, they was going behind my back. So it became clear to me that I'm not doing anything wrong. I did what I was supposed to do. I did everything that I was supposed to do. I'm not finna let her kill me. I'm not finna let her attack a child in my presence. I will not, no. How many of y'all would let a woman attack a child in your presence? I think not. So why is it all of a sudden now that I'm doing it, I'm wrong? Or another man protects his life against a crazy woman and he's being scapegoated. Why the fuck? Well, why society? Why is y'all always doing that shit? Y'all need to hold women accountable for being crazy and narcissistic. Because this is what makes men bitter. This is what makes healthy men go sour, makes them bitter, makes them hateful towards society, makes them not respect women, makes them not respect society's opinion. Because we have to hold people who are clearly abusers and bullies accountable for their behavior. We can't just overlook that. Now, if I understand that some people are just not ready to be exposed, and some people are not ready to be held accountable. But Ciara's ready. People just refuse to hold her accountable because they kiss an ass. They're accepting donations instead of accepting their moral compass to guide them. And that's the issue for me, because I'm constantly getting scapegoated. My rights are being violated on a daily basis. I can't even travel around freely anymore. Walking down the street has become a hassle because I get people following me around acting like they're going to stab me because they're doing her dirty work. They're her soldiers. You understand? I shouldn't have to walk, after she traumatized me as a child, I shouldn't have to be looking over my shoulder because of what she did to me. She molested me as a child and I have to look over my shoulders. That's asinine. That's bullshit. That's some motherfucking bullshit. And I won't stand for it anymore. So that's why I'm speaking up, because that's the only thing I can do at this point. I did everything I could do. I got a restraining order against this bitch, and she's still following me. Excuse my language, y'all. I got triggered. Excuse me for my language and my vanity. I apologize. I just, with just everything that I've been going through for these past few months, this past year has been really difficult for me ever since Ciara and some of my other family members have come back to Arizona uninvited. May I add, they're uninvited. They're not even guests. They're just uninvited intruders. I know I probably sound insensitive because it's I know that most of the time that's not how people talk about their family, but my family members are intruders. Because I had made it clear to all of them that, this dynamic is toxic, and at the beginning, I was very respectful. I know, because I know how I can be at times. I can be very vain, and I am aware of that. But when I had expressed my concerns to my family, I was very, very respectful. I did not call nobody out their name. I respected my elders. I was very, very compliant. I was very submissive. I was very respectful. I'm telling you, I did everything that I could to be respectful, but my family members were always so quick to undermine me. And I just got to a point, I'm just at a point now to where I'm done with them. I'm done with them, all of them. I'm done with them. And I'm tired of them intruding in my life as if they were invited. I'm just sending that message publicly that some of them attach themselves to me and some people believe that we're still cool. No, I'm not cool with any of my family members. I'm not cool. If they say they were cool, we're not cool. They're lying. They know that we're not cool. And they're trying to keep that image because they don't want the truth to come out that they're abusive. That I was forced to cut them off. They don't want to tell nobody that. They want people to see a bad image of me, taking pictures of me while I'm sleeping outside, or just doing disrespectful stuff like forcing me to wear women's clothes, or just making fun of my health, or, just like talking about my medical records in public, or, following me around and hazing me and talking around me, talking at me, talking about me. They do this every day. And for those who are healthy enough to where my family members need you to believe, excuse me, my family members need you to believe a specific truth, just know that, if it's coming straight from the horse's mouth, I am not cool with any of my relatives. They are not my family. They are relatives. That is it. I'm making that clear now, because some of them still attach themselves to me, and they lie to other people like we're cool. No. These people are lying. They bully me behind closed. All of them. They bully me. The ones that are still attaching their names to me and trying to make it seem like we're cooler than what we actually are. None of that is true. They bully me behind closed doors. That's why they don't have access to me. So some of them are playing the victim, like, Bree just cut me off for no reason. No, they know exactly why they got cut off. I'm just making it's coming from the horse's mouth. They know exactly why they got cut off. Because I told them. And I was respectful. And I'm putting this on me. This is on me, on my life. I was respectful towards every member of my family. And they went out of their way to disrespect me. I had to cut every last one of them off. Not one person decided to do the right thing by not accepting Ciara's money, by not accepting certain other members of the family's blackmail and bribes. They chose to stay in the family, OTF, all the way, right? OTF, to the extent at which they were willing to compromise their integrity for that family, that La Familia legacy. And I said, look, hey, I respect your decision. I'm not trying to change you. I'm not trying to, guilt trip you to make a different decision. But I need you to know that I'm making my decision, and it's different from the decision that you made, with humility, respectfully. I'm saying this out of respect. I'm choosing to walk away from the family. This is just something I have to do for me. Now, regardless of what people feel about what I said to my family, they are entitled to their opinion. But I did what I needed to do. And I don't care if people disagree with me or not. I don't care what people think about the fact that I had to leave my family. There's a lot of people that vocalize their opinion, and maybe you should go back to your family. I understand that. I understand why they feel that way, and they're entitled to feel as such. But if I was to tell them what my family put me through, they would have a different opinion. And for those who refuse to change their mind, that lets me know that they are a perpetrator as well. Because I can tell you, no healthy person would ever recommend me go back to my family after what they did to me. No good person, moral person in their right mind would ever send me back to that. So no matter what distorted image that my family tries to display, it is dysfunctional, it is abusive, it is toxic. Now, I have no interest on trying to change them. They can live their life however they want to live their life. I've never spoken about them, my family members, as when it don't pertain to me. I'm not talking about them because there's nothing to say. We have a difference in opinion, and we have chosen to go our separate ways. That's the truth. And the community, if I'm going to be honest with the community and tell my story to the community, the truth is going to come from the horse's mouth. Because a lot of my family's members have my name in their mouth. Too much to where I had to set things straight. The family members that's running their mouth, bringing my name up, are not cool with me. I can tell you the members of my family that are cool with me ain't running their mouth. Because they have if they're healthy, they're going to handle things a certain way. Because they know that that's how I like to handle. They know me well enough to know I don't like my private business out in the street. If you want to know what's okay to say out loud, you come to me directly. And my healthy family members, the ones that I am the very few that I am cool with, know better. Just like I know better not to run my mouth about them. You notice that the healthy members of my family, I'm not talking shit about. You understand? Let me make that very clear. The members of my family that I'm exposing are the toxic ones that try to act like everything's good. They try to hover right back in my life and, oh yeah, like me and Bree, we cool. Yeah, you just saw us together. No, I'm being held hostage. I ain't cool with this family member. This motherfucker's holding me hostage. I got a restraining order and this person refuses to leave me alone. And they're trying to act like everything's okay so that nobody finds out how abusive they really are. But the truth is, my real family members don't need to do that because they know it's all love. You know what I'm saying? and most of my real family members are not blood. They're not blood. They're supporters. That's my real family, my spiritual tribe, not my blood. I don't fuck with my blood. I don't fuck with my kin because I'm done with that whole generational curse. I'm not saying that, like I'm not trying to make it seem like they, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't agree. They don't agree with me. Excuse me. They don't agree with me. I don't agree with them. So therefore, we have been forced to go our separate ways. And at first, I thought it was mutual. I thought it was going to be respectful. But then some of them started to follow me around and harass me. And then they start calling the police on me to get them to harass me. Then they start calling security. Then they start calling people out on the streets to follow me around everywhere I went. And I was forced to have to speak up and start exposing family members. I was forced to do that. That's not something I wanted to do. I wanted to move forward. Whatever trauma I had faced in the past, I wanted it to stay in the past, but because certain family members were not okay with me being content with life because they felt some type of way, they wanted to break me. They wanted to have me under their thumb or under their control. They went too far to establish dominance. They went too far to have the upper hand in the power struggle when I was never willing to power struggle with them in the first place. I was just willing to, cut my losses and keep it moving. Take that L and keep it moving. Take it as a lesson. But my family members were dedicated to disrespecting me, even though they had already had the upper hand in the power struggle. They had to kick me while I was down because of greed. They let their greed kick me while I was down when they didn't need to. They had already had all my money, all my work, all my hard work. They had already had possession of it. So there was no need for them to slander me like that. I wasn't going to say anything. They didn't need to dog me out like that. They didn't need to mistreat me like that, humiliate me like that, degrade me like that, bully me like that. That was unnecessary. And they burned that bridge with me when they started gang stalking me. They burned that bridge. And, some of them are will probably stalk me until a higher power gets involved. Some of them have already made up their mind that they're going to keep stalking me because I had gotten restraining orders against a lot of them. You understand? The ones who are the problem, I had already got restraining orders against them, and they're still following me, and they're getting consequences and going to jail for it because they're getting caught. Like, I'm not saying nothing to nobody. I didn't tell nobody this. Like, I'm not the one saying anything. Do you understand? I need people to understand. I'm not the one that's even saying anything about the only thing that I'm saying is what I'm sharing with y'all on this public platform. Everything else is being witnessed and reported by other people. I didn't say nothing. Do you understand me? I want y'all to understand why I'm going ham like this. Because my family members dogged me out. What family members follow a scapegoat around and take pictures of them while they're sleeping? Who does that, bro? My family members have sent random strangers to come take pictures of me while I was sleeping, outside, homeless. Who knows what some of these people would have done to me? My family members, some of them are not well mentally. They're not well, bro. And it's because I have to be scapegoated and because they so badly need for me to be a scapegoat, my life has been in danger. My life is in danger. If it had not been for a higher power, I would not be here today. If it had not been for the universe, I would not be here today. And I'm grateful to the universe more than anything. I humbly express gratitude to the universe, because if it had not been for the universe, I would not be here. This experience has been extremely dangerous for me. And a lot of the people around me that see me speak, because I don't have privacy. Let me just remind you, whatever I do, it has to be public because I don't have a home. So it's like people make fun of me and they don't take this seriously. They make a mockery out of it. And that's mostly white people. Like, that's white people doing that. The white people are the only ones who do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially, like, there's been a select, like, few, like, a group of white women that have been, like, trolling me for a while. And they're associating with Ciara. They're Ciara's associates or affiliates, whatever you want to call them. And they've been, like, trolling me and, like, being, like, mad disrespectful. And, some, I don't know if y'all were hearing laughter in the background, but that's them. I recognize their voices, their laughs, because they've been trolling me for a few years now. And they're part of that, like, that gang stalking entourage. They're more the passive aggressive gang stalkers. They're not really like the confrontational type. But say if, like, I walk past them, then they'll start talking about me and they'll make it known that they're talking about me. And it'll be to the extent at which they're kind of like talking at me. But they're the lesser of the two evils. And as far as, like, the gang stalkers that I've dealt with, the greater of two evils have been blood relatives, people that knew me personally. Because these group of white women, I mean, I'm not saying they don't know me, because some of them I went to school with. Like, I went to high school with, elementary school, college. Like, some of them I grew up with them, but they're not family. Like, they're not blood related. It's just we went to school, we're classmates. But the greater of the two evils has always been my blood relatives, whether they were black, white, religious, spiritual, non-denominational, atheistic, satanic. It didn't matter what their belief systems were. My blood relatives were always the greater of two evils, as pertaining to the gang stalking flying monkeys, or flunkies as they call it. What does that have to do with Ciara? All of these people were under her thumb, under her umbrella, and they were kind of like doing her dirty work. Trying to intimidate me, trying to gang up on me, sending a message on her behalf to remind me of my place. Some of them made sure that I forgot, to convince Ciara, because Ciara was the one with the power and the money. She had the power, the money, and the influence, and she abused it. And a lot of these people that are coming after me, I have a theory that the only reason why they really came after me the way they did was because they were following orders from her. But that's just my theory. All right, y'all. I think I've said enough. So for those who are watching my videos, thank y'all for y'all patience. And I appreciate you guys' support. Like and subscribe for more content. And hopefully pretty soon I'll make other videos that are not like so like negative and traumatic. I'll maybe if I'm able to get my freedom somehow, maybe. But I don't know how things are going to turn out. I don't want to give any answers right now because I don't know how things are going to turn out. But I'm hoping to release videos that are not always about my trauma, always negative. I'm hoping to add some positivity in here at some point in time. That may not happen anytime soon, but hopefully at some point in the near future, I'll be able to post like videos that are a little bit more entertaining, or at the very least positive. All right, thank y'all for y'all's time. Peace out.